And good morning, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of Star Wars CCG. As always, I'm Dan Tartaglione, also known as DTartag1. Today we have the top 8 event for you. This is going to be the retro event. So we have a top 8 match. It's going to be against from the 3 seed versus the 8 seed. And today it's going to be Tarkin84, Miguel versus zlorfik. Uh, and if you're not familiar with who that is, he goes by a name called he goes by the name Bastion Winklehouse. Uh, Tarkin Miguel will be picking the side. He is the higher seed. He is the 3 seed. Bastion is the 8 seed. So here we go. Looks like Tarkin84 is ready to go, and we are live with another top 8 showing. So good luck to both of our players, and let's see what happens. Okay, scroll down here. It looks like Miguel's going with his dark side. Bastion's gonna go with light side. And here we go. We got to bring him versus Prophet. So again, this is going to be the retro event. So this is Premier Death Star 2. So you won't see any virtual cards. You won't see any defensive shields. You won't see any of the stuff that you're used to nowadays. Okay, here we go. We have a Miguel has Mara Jaywood, the Emperor's Hand, out. Dr. Evazan as well. Okay, let's see. We got Insurrection or Insignificant Rebellion, Imperial Arrest Order, Mobilization Points, and Oppressive Enforcements from Miguel. Bastion's got Your Insight Serves You Well, Insurrection, and Do or Do Not. So, got 2 cards out already for Sunset Altar. Bastion one with the Do or Do Not here. This Bring It Before Me, I played a version that played like 8 senses and like 2 or 3 altars in it. So playing Do or Do Not, kind of a smart move. Again, Miguel is Tarkin84. Bastion is zlorfik. I think at this point everybody knows who Bastion is. So Miguel again has Mara Jade, the Emperor's Hand out, and Dr. Evazan, Mara Jade. You have to use one, so adds 2 to the power of anything she pilots. Power plus 2 if the Emperor's on the table. Can be targeted by Vader's Obsession and the Epic Duel instead of Vader. And then, but once per game, may deploy a weapon from the reserve deck. So you easily can get out her lightsaber. Han with heavy blaster pistol is the Han that Bastion went with. Okay, so right away we see that Miguel has the Death Star 2 docking bay out. He's got Cardia out as well. He's going to use objective. There's the Emperor coming down to the audience chamber as well. And he is going to go get a weapon. So right off the bat, we see Miguel has all of his activation. Well, not all of his activation, but plenty of his activation to go there. And he's got a lightsaber on Mara Jade. So it's not a bad start. So he's generating 9 for us right now. Looks like he's gonna save. See if he saves one here. Again, there's no grabbers per se with the defensive shields, so saving a force is it's still a good strategy because you have like the Imperial barriers. You do see players using the card There'll Be Hell to Pay. It's a use 3 force play on the table type of a grabber, but because the Impressive Enforcement card is on the table, the media effects deploy for free. Okay, so here we go. On to Bastion's turn. He's getting 8 or 6 force right off the bat. Going to use Insurrection. Insurrection and Imperial Arrest Orders were really popular cards back in the day to get out docking bays. See a lot of decks running a lot of docking bays and stuff like that back from the dark ages of Star Wars. Okay, there's the home one docking bay as well as R2. While port a starfighter, again, that text isn't really going to matter here, but while at a scalp link and an opponent draws destiny, you can do some stuff. So if it's 1 to 3, you can activate a force. 4 through 6, you can draw the top card of your reserve deck. So it looks like Bastion is just going to get the R2 out and draw. We're not going to see Miguel force drain here because of Bastion's objective. So okay, and then there we go. There's the Forest Lightning. So you can see Miguel start to loop that around. Okay, this is game one between our two players here. Game two will be played same time on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a pretty nice afternoon as well as day. We're going to be having this game on again on 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. The time zones that matters. And so we'll have that going on Wednesday. We'll also have Hollow Theater. Scotland Grail's going to be on. And then following Hollow Theater, I will be doing the Justin Desai versus the 10 seed due to it's going to be Justin Desai versus Dark Deal 44. We had a little bit of an issue where a player did get disqualified due to not submitting their deck list on time. Zutton didn't get his deck list submitted on time, so the powers that be, Jared DQ'd him. So, okay, here's Boba Fett going down to Cardia for 7 force. And he's going to go out and get a docking bay. No docking bay in there, so Bastion gets a free verify. And he's just going to draw a couple cards. So right now, Miguel is showing a force drain of 1 next turn. So we'll see what Bastion can do here. Okay, Bastion again is going to look for a docking bay. It looks like he does have a docking bay somewhere in his reserve deck. Again, so all the cards that you're seeing being played were from Premier to Death Star 2, so no Reflections 2 cards, so you won't see those combo cards that people saw. No, like Rebel Leadership, so that's kind of rough. Thank you for subscribing there, Joe and Jared. Glad to see we have some people watching today. Okay, there's a launching the assault coming down from Bastion. No home one pool, interesting enough. And it looks like Bastion is just going to draw some cards. So, okay, how do we get into this mess? So, Bastion is targeting R2. He's going to put some cards back into his use pile and then draw some cards here. So, again, no home one pool, but he does have the how do we get into this mess, so maybe he'll draw into it there. Yeah, no virtual Akbar, no virtual rebel leadership, but I know the first officer Thanesipi. I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but I know that's a really good card in this Premier Death Star 2 format. I also know that there's another Mon Calamari who's also really good. Okay, Sebastian puts his hand back and draws a new 12 card hand, and then he's just going to recirculate. So he's got 3 force to work with. So haven't seen anybody really use how do we get in this mess since Worlds. I want to say it was it feels like it was forever ago, but I want to say it was 4, maybe 5 years ago when Reed Smith ran How Do We Get This Mess into his Diplo. That was a fun little deck. Oh, yeah. Major Hassan, who's good for canceling the lateral damage. Lateral damage does see a lot of play. So, okay. Bastion's going to lose R2 from his hand. I mean, he can lose the R2 as he's got one at the home one docking bay. And there's a Lord Vader coming down to the Jabba's Palace site. So now that's going to be a drain of 3 for Miguel. Does have to pay 8 force to get that Lord Vader down. But again, he is still a really good character in this format. And he does come down with Vader's lightsaber. Again, that is the non-Death Star 2 one. That's the good Vader's lightsaber. And it looks like Miguel's going to draw some more cards. Now, as for me, I'm a little surprised to see Bastion going with Prophet. Prophet didn't seem like it was one of the higher played decks. Throne Room, Hidden Base, Echo Base Operations, and Mind What You Have Learned seemed like they were the more played light side decks. There was some Prophet here and there during the main event, but again, this is Bastion we're talking about. And funny enough, he is the 8th seed in this event, so. Ah, interesting. That's interesting. So Bastion does take the home one into hand, and according to Solid Snack in our chat, Bastion played a Rebel Strike team and went 5-0 with it. I don't know. I didn't have much success with this format. I went 1-4 with my light side. Um, I I played My What You've Learned and Throne Room, 2 games of Throne Room. Went 0-2 with those, and I went 1-2 with My What You've Learned. So, but I did go 4-0 or 4-1 with my Bring It Before Me. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, there was a point where I was actually 4-2 or 5-2, and on I was hoping to make it, but I ended up going 5-5, which is what my goal was overall. I didn't play a single game beforehand, so okay. Bastion gets out the home one War Room, and he's got other docking bays out now, so Bastion is generating 11 force right now. Still doesn't have enough. I believe he doesn't have enough to get out the home one this turn. But let's see if he's going to do something against that Vader. That Vader right now is, again, threatening a drain of 3. Nope. Admiral Akbar coming down to the home on War Rooms. He comes down for 2 force. Again, this is the non-virtual Admiral Akbar. Deploys 2 at to the home one. Adds 3 to any capital starship he pilots. Your capital starship deploys -1 to the same system. Once per game, may take a Mon Calamari character or Admiral's Order into hand. So he doesn't add a Destiny, but he's not bad up on that home one still. Okay, and there's the home one from Bastion. And Miguel has the barrier, so that home one is barriered. Bastion is going to look for an Admiral's Order or Mon Calamari. He grabs Major Hassan, somebody who, again, we were just talking about, and deploys -2 to any Star Cruiser, adds 2 to the power of any capital ship he pilots. And again, when piloting a Star Cruiser, adds 1 to the hyperspeed and armor and cancels lateral damage. So a pretty solid Mon Calamari character. Okay, no battle here from Bastion as the home one's barriered. But again, we're going to see that Admiral Akbar slide up to piloting the home one. Bastion's going to go out and get Luke from his reserve deck. So that's a smart little move because once you get Luke with Vader, he is captured. One, it flips your opponent and he starts losing force. And two, because Vader's on the table, you don't have to lose force to your destiny. So when Vader is present at a battleground site at the start of your turn, opponent loses 3 force unless he's captured, out of play, or present at a battleground site. And Bastion then plays Order to Engage. Card we don't see a lot of play right now, but again, it's a really powerful card in this format. Use 2 force to deploy on opponent's side of the table. At the end of each opponent's battle phases, if a battle did not take place at every location where both players have presence, at the end of that phase, opponent loses 3 force. So unless Miguel wants to battle with this Boba Fett in the Slave 1 against this stacked up Home 1, he's going to have to lose 3 force next turn. Okay, here it is. Drain of 3 at the Jabba's Palace. Bastion's going to lose Luke's lightsaber from his hand, projection from the deck, and Cal Fal Syndros. Both the projection and Cal Fal are both off the top of his reserve deck. So again, Bastion didn't want to lose any of the seven other cards in his hand there. Now, I think if you're Miguel here, I think the best option is to... Now, you could land the Boba Fett in Slave 1 at the docking bay. I believe you can run to the Home 1 docking bay. Or let's see if he comes down and tries to reinforce here and battle against the Home 1. Oh, there's a Dengar and Punishing One. That's going to take away all of Bastion's immunity. So we might actually see a battle from Miguel here. Nope, Miguel is going to lose 3 force. There goes Monarch off the top of his deck. Sense and a Lord Vader. So Bastion takes a sigh of relief there, and so he won't have to lose any of the characters on the Home 1. And he does cause 3 points of force loss on Miguel. And Miguel is just going to draw and then end his turn. Yep, he does save 1, and now he's got to lose 1 to the 7 side of his objective. And he loses the Cloud City East platform from his hand. Not a terrible card to lose. See a lot of that being played because you can't put projection to Skywalker there. Okay, Bastion moves on to his deploy phase after he activates. There's a Wedge Antilles, Red Squadron leader. And Biggs Darklighter. So Wedge is with a Red Squadron pilot here, so he will be able to cancel a Destiny. So we're probably going to see Bastion initiate here. And Bastion does. We have power 19 to power 11. Bastion draws a 5 for Battle Destiny. And that brings him up to 24. Now, again, whenever Miguel draws here, he is going to lose. It's going to be canceled. He does draw a 1. So Bastion first gets to activate, and then he's going to cancel it with Wedge. Now, I still believe that... Oh, no. So because the Battle Destiny was canceled, Yeah, and there goes both ships. And Miguel does take some overflow. There goes the Executor, Boskin Han's Tooth, Vader's Lightsaber, and Janice. So it looks like Miguel is going to give up space at this point. Okay, Bash is now going to move Biggs and Wedge off the home one after he sees that Miguel lost most of his space force. Probably going to docking bay transport them over to Tatooine here on his next turn. So that way he can drain for 2 open space and then 1 on the ground. But maybe we'll see. I'm not sure. Well, we do know that Bastion does play Narrow Escape in his deck. We saw him draw that 5 for Battle Destiny. After moving Biggs and Wedge, Bastion passes and moves into his draw phase, and looks like he's just going to draw some cards. So, huge sequence of events from Bastion there. I really don't agree with Miguel not initiating into this. Uh, and the reason is instead of losing the 3 force to order, he battles, gets rid of at least the Major Hassan, if not Admiral Akbar. And then, I mean, I understand he might lose one of the ships, but I don't know. It was just bad sequence of events for Miguel. But again, he isn't out of it. And as we see that Bastion draws up his force pile into his hand, he's got 11 cards to work with next turn, and we move on to Miguel's turn. So no battle order or battle plan yet from either of the players, so both players are draining for free. So Miguel is going to drain at the Jabba's Palace, causing 3 points of damage. Okay, Bastion's going to lose. I have a very bad feeling about this. Honor of the Jedi. And I know. So Honor of the Jedi is a pretty big staple of this format. And there's a Janus coming down with the Emperor. He deploys for 1, and this is going to now allow Miguel to cycle cards into his use pile out of his hand to draw a card off of his reserve deck. Now, I wouldn't be surprised that to see Miguel move maybe Mara over and Vader over as well. Move Vader over to the docking bay, move Mara and Dr. E over to the palace. This gives you a drain of 2 now at the docking bay and a drain of 3 still at the Jabba's, or drain of 2 at the docking bay and a drain of 3 at the palace. Let's see what he's going to do here. Again, he is down by, there is a 3 points of force loss difference. Okay, he's going to move Vader into the audience chamber. Interesting. Okay, so Janice and the Emperor are going to move out. That's now going to make that a drain of 4 at that site. Again, Miguel does have to be a little cautious with what he does at the audience chamber. If Bash can find a Leia and get Leia down to the audience chamber and play someone who loves you. I couldn't think of the card there for a second. If he plays that, he'll flip his objective and be able to retrieve 5 cards. But we see Miguel end his turn. He does have 1 force saved in his force pile. We move over to Bastion's turn. Bastion does initiate the drain of 2 at Cardia. There goes battle order, and the circle is now complete. Again, Miguel losing battle order because he does not occupy up in space, so not a bad card to lose there. The circle is now complete. Is a really good card to get rid of Obi-Wan with lightsaber. I've used it and have it had it used against me many a times in this format. Okay, Sebastian's going to look through his reserve deck with Insurrection, see what cards he's got in there. Yeah, Miguel's still not in a bad situation. He does occupy the audience chamber, so he isn't giving that up without a fight. And he is doing drains of 4 on the ground. Now, again, Bastion is draining for 2 up in space, and Miguel is losing a card to his objective. So, in theory, right now, Miguel is doing 1 more point of damage to Bastion than what Miguel is doing to Bastion. But we'll see what Bastion's going to do this turn. He's got 11 fours to work with. Bastion thinking about what he wants to do this turn. He's got plenty of options. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he moves Biggs and Wedge to the docking bay, but I think what depending on what depending on what is in his hand here, he does still have a lot of options. Bastion is still in the tank thinking about what he wants to do. He does have 4 minutes less than Miguel. Okay, there we go with a Ben Kenobi. Ben Kenobi card doesn't see a lot of play nowadays, but still, again, is a popular card to be being played in Profit. He deploys only to Tatooine. When in a duel, he adds 2 to the total. Once per turn, if a battle just ended, you may revive. Place here from Lost Pile. Your character forfeited from the same site. So again, there, and we do see that Miguel or Bastion moves over the Wedge and the Biggs to the docking bay. So now he's got presence on the ground and in space. Okay, Miguel's going to pull the Force Lightning from his deck with the Emperor. No Force Lightning's in his deck, so it looks like he either activated it or he's got it in his hand. Again, the trick here is to pull the Force Lightning with the Emperor, put it back with Janus, and just keep cycling it so you can get better cards from your hand out of your deck. Okay, there we go. Bash is going to play How Do We Get Into This Mess again. He's going to put all 11 cards he's got in his hand into his use pile and then draw 11 from his reserve deck. A pretty neat little trick there. We did see Miguel lose a Circle is Now Complete already. And again, I didn't like the move of putting Vader into the audience chamber. I mean, if you wanted the drain to be, I would have rather seen Vader move over to the docking bay. So you could have done the circle is on now complete on Ben. But again, you got to think that Bastion has some sort of tricks to to mitigate the damage from the circle. And again, Bastion gets to put the cards back into his use pile here in any order he wants. So that's why you see him doing it so methodically at this point. And there we go. Bastion is going to draw 12 cards out of his deck. Again, it's +1 because of R2 there. And here we go with Miguel's next turn. Again, Miguel is still doing... He's going to be doing 4 points of damage with the drain at the Jabba's Palace site. Okay, there's a Force Lightning from Miguel. Miguel currently has 30 cards hand in life. Bastion right now has 31 hand in life. And here we go. Drain of 4 at the Jabba's Palace. Okay, there goes a Ben Kenobi. A Ben Kenobi. A how did we get into this mess? And a projection of Skywalker. I don't know. I think Bastion could have used the projection to put it onto the Jabba's Palace to make it a drain of 4 or a drain of 3 instead of 4. But again, this is a 3-time world champ that we're talking about here. So I don't really question anything Bastion does at this point. He already lost one in this game, Jared. Okay, so now Vader is going to join everybody. And Bastion's going to play on the edge. So here we go. He's going to target Admiral Akbar. And Miguel is going to grab that. Grimtosh is lost. So unless Miguel's playing a second one... And here we go. We have a sense from Miguel. He draws a 3 for his destiny, so that's going to cancel the on the edge. But again, Bastion does have do or do not on the table, so Miguel's going to have to lose 2 force here. So Miguel's going to lose Search and Destroy. And a Projective Telepathy, so the sense goes lost. The on the edge is grabbed and canceled. Okay, Mara J's going to back up Dr. Avazan. So not a bad sequence of events for Bastion. I mean, he lost 1 card there on the edge, whereas Miguel lost 3 cards, 2 to do or do not, as well as the sense going lost. And he now ends his turn. So he's got 15 cards in his life force, as well as 10 cards in his hand. Loses the altar to his objective. Again, Bastion has an 8-card hand, 18 cards in his life force. So 26 cards. So Right now we have it's going to be a 4-card difference in favor of Bastion here at the end of the control phase. Okay, there goes a set for stun, and another circle is now complete from Miguel's hand. So, yep, he loses. The circle is now complete from his hand. Okay, and there's the Obi-Wan's lightsaber coming down onto Ben Kenobi. C-3PO joins the party, coming down to the Jabba's palace. And he plays C-3PO. So he plays C-3PO to play C-3PO to retrieve 3. And Ben joins R2 and 3PO over at the palace. So he blocks the drain of 4 there by moving R2 and Ben over. Now, again, with C-3PO joining R2, he adds a Battle Destiny. Okay, Wedge joins the battle. And I'm expecting Biggs to as well. So, really good sequence of events from Bastion. I mean, we haven't seen the Force Lightning be used against anybody, so we could see a Force Lightning lost here to get rid of Wedge or Biggs. More likely Biggs. So hopefully for Bastion, he's got some way of dealing with that Force Lightning here. Bastion draws up. He's got a 10-card hand, and he recirculates. So Bastion's sitting at 26 hand in life. Miguel currently sitting at 23 hand in life. Okay, there's the Force Lightning from Miguel's reserve deck. And he's going to use the Force Lightning used here to make Ben Kenobi defense value -4. Interesting. So I understand wanting to get rid of the Ben Kenobi. I mean, you could have... Well, yeah, if you use the Force Lightning and get rid of Biggs, he can use Ben Kenobi to revive him. But if it has to be in battle. So you play the Force Lightning lost out of battle, and he dies. He goes lost. Okay, here we go. Sniper from Miguel firing Vader's lightsaber at Ben Kenobi. Okay, this makes sense. Draws a 6, so yeah, that's definitely going to hit the Ben Kenobi here. He draws 2 6s, so Ben Kenobi's going to go lost. So he didn't even need the Force Lightning. So I'm not a fan of that. So and the reason I'm not a fan of using the Force Lightning there is you ditch the mobilization points to check your destinies. No, I'm saying, yeah. So you use the Force Lightning lost on Biggs out of battle. He goes lost. And then you check your destinies with mobilization points. You know you can hit Ben. You get rid of Ben. You get rid of Biggs, and then you just kick the crap out of Wedge. But okay, here we go. We have a battle for Miguel. Both players are getting 2 Destiny, and Bastion will be able to cancel one of them. Oh, we have a Fallen Portal from Bastion. Fallen Portal targeting the Emperor. There's another sense from Miguel. It is a 1, so the sense does go through. Okay, Miguel does have to lose some force here, though. So there goes the Fallen Portal, and there goes the Lord Vader and Projective Telepathy. Okay, Simulou's gonna now this I love Simulou. He's great. So you look at the top card of their reserve deck, and then you just put it into their force pile if you want. Okay, Vader's going to swing at Wedge Antilles. It should be a hit here. Oh, it draws a 0 for his first Destiny. Now, it is a 1 because this is Lord Vader, though. So he still just needs to draw a 2 here. A 2 or higher. He draws a 3, so that it is going to hit Wedge. Okay, there's the Destiny of 4. Come here, you big coward. So, again, Miguel is getting 2 Destiny. And Wedge will be able to cancel one of them. He draws a 3, so he's going to cancel the 3 here. The 4 is going to go through. Okay, Bastion draws a 4 for his first Destiny. And a 5, so that's going to bring him up to 16. So, again, he is going to be down by 4, so he just has to lose either one of the droids or Biggs. But more importantly, Bastion's going to have to lose multiple characters or the Emperor here. Okay, Bastion does have to stack a card. He stacks Clash of the Sabers. Oh, Bastion wishing that he would have saved 2 force to play that this last turn. Okay, Miguel's thinking about who he wants to lose here. Now, he does have another Emperor in his deck, so he could get the Emperor back out and then just forfeit the Emperor, thus saving Simulou and Janice to do their tricks, though. Yeah, Joe. So if Wedge is actually shot, you see like dots pop up on him. Okay, Miguel does decide to lose the Emperor here. Okay, there goes Wedge to the lost pile. Let's see who else Bastion's going to lose here. Oh, he's got an old Bender in his hand, so Wedge is going to come back. Now, he's still got 4 to attrition here. And he loses Biggs. Okay, so that battle is over. Both players do lose 1 character from the site. Miguel loses the Emperor. Bastion loses Biggs. And Miguel is going to draw a few cards. Okay, there goes there goes a second Mara Jade the Emperor's hand from Miguel's hand to the objective. Okay, we see a drain of 2 from Bastion. There goes a barrier from Miguel's hand, as well as a sense off the top of his reserve deck. Okay, Bastion saves 5 cards in his reserve deck here. He's got 11 force to work with. So let's see what he's going to do this turn. And there's Leia. Leia with her blaster rifle coming down. She's joining Wedge in his party. And Red Leader coming down as well. So that's why Bastion didn't care about losing Biggs, because he got Red Leader. And I believe he's a part of the Red Squadron here. Man, Bastion pulling out all the tricks. Okay. Bastion moving into his deploy phase, and from his deploy phase into his battle phase. And he's not going to initiate. Okay. Miguel's going to use Janice to put a card back into his deck. And Bastion's going to go into his draw phase and draw a few cards. Okay, so here we go into Miguel's turn. Again, Miguel's not really doing any points of force damage here. So will he initiate a battle against Leia, Wedge, and the Red Leader? He saves 5 cards in his reserve deck. Again, he can get the Emperor out, but he can't deploy the Emperor to the Jabba's Palace site. Draws the top card of his deck. He's still in his activate, so he could activate the rest. He looks like he does. He's down to 1 card in his reserve deck. Checking his deck, seeing what the destiny is. Bastion gets a free verify. And the Emperor is joining the party down at the audience chamber. Again, if we don't see a battle here, Miguel's going to have to lose 3 points of damage. Up, he's got the altar to attempt to cancel the order to engage. Draws a 4, so it's going to cancel the order to engage, but he's still got to lose 2 cards. And in reality, it didn't save him any force loss. Okay, so the order to engage goes lost. Yeah, that's 6 points of damage, or 9 points of damage in reality from do or do not. Okay, Mara J is going to back up Vader and the 2 characters, as well as Dr. Evazan. So only the Emperor is maintaining control of the audience chamber at this point. And here we go, another on the edge from Bastion. It does go stacked. There's a 6. So Bastion is going to retrieve 5 cards. Retrieves the Order to Engage, Biggs, Old Ben, Fallen Portal, and Ben Kenobi. This is 100% non-V. This is Premiere to Death Star 2, so no Reflections 3, none of the Episode 1 stuff, no Reflections 2, nothing after Death Star 2, so all this fun goodness. Okay, so here we go into Bastion's turn. He activates his Force Pile. He's going to drain for 2 at Cardia. There goes Tarkin and Lord Vader off the top of Miguel's reserve deck. Miguel down to 8 cards, hand in life. Bastion currently at 25, hand in life. And Hemeth joins the fun. I'm a little surprised that Bastion is reinforcing at the Jabba's Palace site. At this point, with Miguel doing so, he could be doing 4 points of damage there, but you have such a nice lead. Why reinforce there, and why not run into the audience chamber and try and look for someone who loves you, so that way you can retrieve 5 more. Yeah, I was just thinking that, James. And same with deploying Hemeth. Like, I don't agree with deploying Hemeth because it is force that you could throw to a potential force drain. I mean, you're up by 20 you're up 20 in life force to his 6. I'm thinking differential if you're Bastion at this point. Again, I don't question really what Bastion does, but if I was in Bastion's shoes, I would be thinking that. Okay, and Bastion's going to not leave the Jabba's palace. He's just going to stick around, and he's not going to draw up any cards. The character that was just deployed is Hemeth. Adds 2 to the deploy cost of each opponent's male Imperial characters when that Imperial is deploying to same or adjacent sites. So he already lost a Tarkin. I mean, and that's why I was saying, like, I think the best point of action is to keep the Hemeth and run into the audience chamber. Yeah. I mean, if you're Bastion, like I said, you're doing 2 points of damage up in space. Your opponent's losing a card to their objective, so that's 3 points of damage. And you see him only have 8 cards left. So, in 3 turns, he's going to be out of cards. But at the same time, he would be doing 4 points of damage in those 3 turns. So, do you really want to lose 12 cards? Okay, so here we go into Miguel's turn. He moves. So it looks like he's going to go past out of his. He's going to pass turn. So he's going to move his characters around a little bit. He moves Mara over to the docking bay. And that looks like he's always going to do here. And he wants to draw some more cards into his hand. Excuse me. Okay, Miguel draws. He's got 3 cards left in his life force. He's got 2 cards left in his life force. That's not good. And now he's got to lose a card. He can lose if he loses from his life force here. That shows that he's just ready. He's okay. He loses from his hand. Yeah, I think if you're Miguel, you don't want Bastion to move Leia over and then retrieve 5 more from the objective. And that's what I'm thinking Bastion's going to attempt to do here. He's going to try and retrieve more to up the differential. Okay, goes out of his activate phase into his control phase. He does drain for 2 at Cardia. Let's see if Miguel does lose from his deck or if he's going to lose from hand here. He does lose from his deck, and he is depleting his life force. So again, Bastion has won this game. Game 1 by 20 cards. Again, Game 2 will be on Wednesday, same start time. So 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. Germany time. And then following that on Wednesday as well, we're going to have Hollow Theater. Scotland Gorell is going to be joining me, as well as CRG. Matt Lutz, he'll be my co-host. And then we're going to have game 1, Kevin versus Justin Desai. I believe it's Kevin, who is Dark DL44 against All Stars, also known as 2-time world champ Justin Desai. So until then, everyone, I'm going to be signing off for the afternoon, and take care.